Okay guys, so we're doing Miss Spider from James and the Giant Peach, and my first step is to paint my whole face and neck white. I did block off my eyebrows off camera, so I will try to remember to link a video of that down below in the description box. But I did a slightly different method to paint myself white today because I'm using a water activated face paint. I believe I'm using Snazaroo, and I'm using a sponge instead of a brush. Because oftentimes when I use a brush with water activated face paint, it doesn't show up as opaque or solid, and there's brush strokes and I don't like it. So I thought, I follow some face painting accounts on Instagram, and I noticed that one, they use better quality face paint and then two, they use a sponge. The texture of their sponge is a little different. Mine is just a really bad like car washing sponge that I cut up from the Dollar Tree. But the sponge technique gave a much more full coverage, even coverage, and it applied so much easier and better. So I think I'm going to work on this sponge technique application for future looks. But do your whole face, eyelids, neck, and everything white. Then moving on, make sure that that's super duper dry. I'm using a fan. I kept this in because your face is very, very wet when you're using water activated face paint. So make sure your face is dry before moving on. It does take just a moment. Then I move on to her nose and eye contour. This is like the main part of the look that I spend the majority of the time doing. It's a very distinct feature that she has because her nose comes down into a very, very specific point, but it kind of contours up into a very large forehead and some very like 1920s French mime eyebrows. So it took me quite a bit of time to figure out my face shape and just where I wanted the contours to go. So it was a lot of like covering up with white, redoing the lines, redoing this, redoing that. Because as I get more into these Halloween and face chart looks, I'm realizing that my bone structure is not very symmetrical. So there's that as well. But yeah, it just took a while to get the actual like shape of the nose contour and eye contour down. Then after you draw the outline of your nose contour, I just used an eyeliner pencil for that. You go in and start shading. Again, this is what took the majority of the time. And I'm using like taupes and light browns to do my shading because looking at my reference photos for Miss Spider from James and the Giant Peach, she doesn't have a very like harsh contour to her face because she's made of like claymation or like the polymer or whatever. So I didn't want to use like blacks and grays to create the contour. I really wanted to use more like taupes, light browns, things that would give me the shadow of the contour without being dark, without being like skeletal, if that makes sense. So I'm just really going in with these pencil brushes and a neutral palette, and I'm going in and doing the shading some more, blending it out, shading some more, blending it out, going into little sections, taking my time, not doing anything too dark, not using too much eyeshadow, because the moment that you go in with a little too much eyeshadow is the moment that you've kind of like ruined the look, because things don't necessarily blend out like they normally do on like regular skin. So here I just changed the brush that I'm using, different eyeshadow, blending it out. Again, like I said, I just really took my time and like blended the eyeshadows out. You can't take too much time when you're blending. Leave time for blending. Always leave time for blending. Then after you're done with the nose contour, you're going to move on to like the eye color. And I'm just taking a very fluffy blending brush and using a light purple to kind of do the highlight color first. Again, this also is like a little bit of the transition of the contour, but she has like a very very solid purple lid, and then it kind of highlights into this like light purple color on under her brow bone, and then it goes into like the contours underneath her brow. And so I kind of worked from her brow bone down, and I'm just using this light purple to kind of highlight the upper lid space and down the nose, to just give it that little bit of color for her face. And then after, to do her actual eyeshadow look, I take a light purple cream face paint and I put that on my eye first as a base, and I do create a little bit of a wing, not much, but just something that you can kind of see, and it gives me a little bit more of like an elongated spider eye shape. So I put the cream paint down first, then I go back in with a light purple eyeshadow to set it and to kind of deepen up the color. And I do this on both eyes, and I show you both eyes, but I found that just using the paint, the like cream paint first as a base, really gives you a more solid color than going in with like, say, an eyeshadow primer and then the eyeshadow. And you could do that as well. I just felt like the cream paint gave me a little bit more control. It showed up a little bit better against the Snazaroo face paint that was on my eyelids already. Overall, this is the technique that I did. But you could, again, just go in with some eyeshadow primer or purple shadow. No big. No big. Next up is eyeliner. I am tight lining my eyes and going in with my waterline with a black eyeliner. Then on my lower lash line, I take that same eyeliner and I go underneath my lashes to do a very, very thick liner. And then I go in and I smudge that out with an angle brush, really just to kind of work the product in, but to kind of soften the harshness of it. I didn't want it to look so like drawn on, so that's why I go back in with the brush, and it also helps to kind of connect the waterline and that lower lash line. I go in with a liquid liner on my eyelids because I have hooded eyes and I don't want any transfer. And then I do give myself a little bit of a wing, just following the purple eyeshadow, again, just to give me that kind of elongated, like spider-like eye that she has. I'm really bummed that I didn't have any like spider eye contacts that gave me like 3 different irises and pupils, but such is life. I don't have that much money. So, moving on to some mascara. It doesn't really show in my reference picture if she even has lashes or not. I gave her some just to kind of add to the look. So I just do mascara first to prep my eyes, then I apply the lashes. I'm not using anything like too dramatic or fancy for this look. They are rather long though. I think I used like more of a long everyday lash than like a dramatic lash. Then moving on to lips, I use a black eyeliner to create her lip shape. She has this like very, very small mouth and then 2 lines coming off of that very small pout. So I first just drew on the outline of her lips on mine. And then I tried to draw like 2 lines coming off of that, which was kind of hard because part of the line was on my actual lips, which parted. It all worked out in the end. But what I then do is, after I get my shape the way that I want it, I go in with a deep red liquid lipstick. And then after I put my lips on, I do clean up a little bit that line, just a little bit with the white face paint so it looks a little bit more even. Then I go in to do her eyebrows. These eyebrows are a little bit more simple because you already have like the brow bone, so you're really just drawing a straight, not a straight line, but a curved line over top of that brow bone. You're just following it, because that's how her eyebrows are. They're very thin, very like 19-something-esque. The very last second, I decided I wanted to do a wig. I was debating whether I was just gonna like paint my hair black and paint on the wig or the hair on my face, but I decided to do an actual wig at the last second. So I just put this on. This is a super duper cheap wig that I cut. It came with bangs. They're very short, so I pinned them back with some bobby pins, which was a struggle because, again, this is like such a cheap wig. I got it at like Meijer or Walmart or something a couple years ago. So bobby pin it back to kind of give her like signature little like, it's like a reverse widow's peak bang situation. Then once I get that all into place, you'll see in a couple moments, I take and I clip back my turtleneck, because this is a little bit of a looser fit turtleneck. So I just, so now none of my like skin is showing, I just clip it back. See, right there. Then to complete her outfit, her ensemble, she has a green scarf. This is just a quarter cut of fabric from Walmart. It's like 97 cents, and I just folded it into like a little bandana scarf. And she has a matching green beret. I got this one at the hair supply store. And yeah, that's pretty much the look. Once you get everything figured out, I had to pin back the bang because, again, super short. No good. You could also paint your ears if they poke through. I really detest painting my ears, so I skipped that step. But yeah, this is the look. This is Miss Spider. What do you think? Do we love it? Do we not love it? I love it. I love how it turned out. Love everything about it. I will link all of the products that I used in the description box below. If you are interested in any of them, you can check them out on your own time. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big old thumbs up. As always, please be sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell. I would hate for you to miss out on any more videos. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Happy Halloween. Have fun. Be safe.